Can you believe it? We're doing it. We are doing it again. What is up, everybody? It is your pal Hal, live, hanging out with you right here on Backchannel. That's right. Oh boy, what a show we have planned for you. Big show happening. It's you know what? What's in store? All right. We got pop culture, trending topics, a little bit of news, and then beep, beep, beep. What's that? It's the sound of the dump truck backing up that's going to dump a bunch of goofs, gags, nonsense, sillies, on top of just some good times. Good times. Good times in store. And I really am excited that you are here. And I am just I'm just thrilled. I'm over the moon. 2-hour thrill ride. That's it. You, me, I'm in the driver's seat. You're in the passenger's seat. And we're doing it. We're doing it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. And I would love for you to participate in the show. I would love for you to chat with me, to let us know what you're up to jump in with some comments, anything and everything. It's fair game. So here's how you can participate in the show. Go ahead and get your smart device's attention. Use the magic word say. Oh, my audio is low. So right off the bat, Charisse, thank you for that. Charisse in California says, "Why is my audio so low?" So you know what? It's all happening in real time. And let me take a look, Charisse. And you know what? I appreciate that. Charisse, do you mind if I give you a producer's credit on this show? Damn, let me pot it up there. Is that a little better, Charisse? Let me know. And we'll go from there. All right. Oh, Charisse, you are killing it. I appreciate you being here. Charisse in California very early takes the lead as the Your Pal Hal listener of the day. Thank you so much. So here's how you can participate in the show. Go ahead and get your smart device's attention. Use the magic word say, and then drop in anything after that. So smart device say, Hal, your audio is super low. Or smart device say, Hal, you sound crystal clear. Or smart device say, Hal, stop talking about the audio already. Okay? Or anything else. You can also communicate with us by going to YouTube and chatting with us there. Or go to backchannel.tv. Backchannel.tv. And you can chat with us and or leave a little review of the show. So your review can be like, Hal's audio sounds great, or Hal's audio really sucks, or you know what, Hal's audio comes and goes. But thanks again for being here, and I want to know everything that you're up to. By the way, Malaki just joined the show. Malaki, thank you for being here. Is it Malachi? Malaki? Either way, I appreciate you. Let us know what you're up to. Let us know what you got going on the rest of the day. Are you working from home? Are you just sitting around in your sweats? Are you wearing your athleisure? Are you day drinking? Throwing back for me? Are you just staring into the endless void? Contemplating existence. Either way, I'm glad to have you here. I want to know what's going on with you. Cherie says yes. Is that a yes to staring into the endless void? Been there. I've been there. Uh, Thanks again for being here. Again, we're gonna have some goofs, some good times, talk about some pop culture, talk about some news, some trending topics, and Sharice is saying I'm trying to check out how loud the audio is on Alexa. It's not letting me. So gotcha. Thank you for filling us in on what is happening, Sharice. Appreciate you. Grass Puddle, thumbs up. Our friend Grass Puddle, who is, I believe, coming to us still from Peru. Very nice. Grass Puddle is out there making the world a better place. Thank you for that. Thank you for being here. And folks, our show, really, it could not happen without our friend and our intrepid, just hardworking, button-pushing, double mouse scrolling, the best Chiron guy in the biz, Producer Travis. Producer Travis, what is up?
Hello.
Producer Travis, thoughts on the audio? Did you notice anything there?
Your audio, in my opinion, which I could argue is professional, was good as ever. I believe there may have been an issue on Sharice's end. Maybe I would recommend seeing if you could raise, as she mentioned, the volume on her device itself. But everything was coming in, how they say, nominal. On the ones and twos.
Okay, there we go. Travis, it's been 22 hours since I last laid eyes on you. What have you been up to in the interim?
Feels like Sting lyrics.
It's been 22 hours since I last laid eyes on you. It's a little more British than Sting actually is. Yeah, what is up?
Oh, not much. I am still fighting through my big week. I got a few events left to live up to. The proposal for my friend on Sunday. That's going to be a big deal.
You're helping stage an impromptu proposal. A big what is it? A flash mob proposal?
I fear not. No, it is a fake gig. He has booked me a fake gig where the only people in attendance will be friends and family, and I'm only going to play like 2.5 songs, and then he, because I used to teach this guy guitar, is going to play a song as well, sort of their song, and that will then lead to a walk out to some sort of sunset photography op proposal situation.
And very lovely. What is their song?
I believe, I'm not sure if this is actually what he's going to be playing. The arrangement from the show Schitt's Creek of "Simply the Best" by why can't I remember who did that song?
Gotcha.
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very nice. Well, you know what? We love here on the Your Pal Hal show. So very excited that you are going to be part of the proposal. Yeah, actually, Rob Schaefer. Shout out to Rob Schaefer. Always enjoy his presence here. I think you're going to have to muddle through without those mutton chops, Rob. So good luck getting the sound because unless I get cast as a Jewish Civil War general, I don't think mutton chops are in my near future.
I'll give anything for that movie with you.
All right. We're gonna storm their outpost, and then we're gonna take a little break for a bagel and a schmear.
Speaking of Rob Schaefer, he might actually know the friend of mine that I am helping with the proposal.
What? How?
Former Huskers quarterback Johnny Stanton.
Oh.
Yeah, 2014 Huskers quarterback.
Dang.
Yeah, started as a freshman.
How about that? Did he? Was he drafted by the big boys?
No, he went undrafted and signed with the Minnesota Vikings. And then when Kevin Stefanski became the coach of the Cleveland Browns, brought him over, and he's now their practice squad fullback.
Oh, gotcha. And this is the fella that gave you the little football clinic?
The little football clinic.
Very nice, very
Yeah.
nice. I got confused for a second because you said quarterback, and then I remember he was a fullback, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, players switch positions sometimes.
Yeah, he's been one of those guys where he's just generally athletic. So whatever the job, he'll sort of fit his needs to the job, it seems like, as he's gone through. But yeah, our new thing
Gotcha.
is trading niche skills for each other.
Very nice, very nice. Rob Schaefer says, "I do not know him personally, but I do know of him. Good player." There you go. There you go. How about a bet for mutton chops? Say the Super Bowl, maybe. But you know, my wife, she, I don't know. You know, I guess I could grow them for just grow a long, thick sideburn that.
Yeah, you can do some 70s chops that just kind of come down.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, not. It would have to curve into my face here. So
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe I think we could do a bet. I have to think about what you would have to do, Rob. Rob, how are you at facial hair? Maybe a pencil thin mustache. Can you grow a mustache, Rob? Maybe I grow mutton chops, or you grow a pencil thin mustache. Wow. Kind of like John Waters, the great director, John Waters, one of the great pencil thin mustache, or film. I feel like those were more popular in film noir era. Otherwise, I can't think of any other pencil thin. Oh, mustache game is weak. Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. What about? Would you have to wear a wig to work for a week?
Oof.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Or Hawaiian shirt.
Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, then he'd look like a boogaloo boy. You know about those boogaloo boys, Travis?
Not explicitly.
No? Oh,
No, not really.
I mean, listen, the world has really, and the Trump election and all sorts of stuff has given birth to a lot of dumb crap in the United States. Boogaloo boys were, for a week, you'd have to keep the chops for a month. Okay, 2 days. A day.
Day in a week? That sounds...
A day in a...
Yeah.
I have to have chops for a week. He'd have to wear a wig for a day. Oh, he couldn't wear it to court. But there've got to be...
There's a precedent.
Yeah, there's got to be people who wear but I don't want. I don't want you to get laughed at court, Rob. So I understand there's bigger fish to fry there. All right, well, I'll think about it and get back to you. But I like this. Boogaloo boys are it's like an anti-government faction who's oh, we're going to cause the Civil War, the second Civil War, and they call it Civil War II Electric Boogaloo, and they wore Hawaiian shirts. The big, because they started calling it the big luau. Yeah, listen, I know more than anyone should want to know about this crap.
That's
so yeah,
that's great. Good for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
great,
no,
sure,
no, it's terrible. But if you're gonna be dumb,
or just another sign of the apocalypse.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're gonna be that dumb, I would like you to wear it. You know, just really on the surface.
Yeah. No, if you go back and look at some of those protests, anti-mask protests that happen at state capitals and all sorts of, if you scroll around, you will see dudes wearing Hawaiian shirts, and it's just simply the worst. Travis,
yes.
You saw Whoopi Goldberg got suspended. We were talking about that story at the end of our show yesterday. Maybe sometimes you gotta keep your thoughts about the Holocaust and genocide to yourself.
not a bad practice,
Yeah. When in doubt, don't say the thing about the Holocaust. That is one to grow on from your pal Hal. When in doubt, don't say the thing. Don't deliver your hot take about genocide and the Holocaust. Travis, we've had plenty of fun chit-chatting, but let's get down to business. Trending topics in the Twitterverse, the Twitter sphere. We're going to talk about some of the stuff in the news right now. Riyadh is in the house. Riyadh, great to have you here. Thank you for saying hi. And again, would love for anybody to give your opinions on anything we're talking about. We're about to jump into Twitter trends, trending topics on Twitter, in the Twitter sphere, in the Twitterverse. First off, oh boy, it's Groundhog Day, everybody. You know what? Can't not think about Bill Murray, Andy McDowell. Oh, my mother's in the house. Hi, Mom. Mother, I love you. It's Groundhog's Day, February 2nd. Also, because of the year, it is the year of our Lord, 2022. The date is 2/2/22. Deuce is wild, y'all. And we're going to have one more day like that later this month. When it is the 22nd of February, look out. Play the lottery, bet on 2, go to the casino, put all your money on the roulette wheel, number 2. But, and you know what? Some of you might be in the middle of a number 2 while it's 2/2/22. Oh, and what about later today? It's already been 2:22 a.m. What about when it's 2:22 p.m. and 22 seconds? Y'all, the possibilities are endless. I'm really going down the rabbit hole. But the groundhog, he came out of his hole. He came out of his cage. Punxsutawney Phil. I don't know where they keep him, but it is Groundhog's Day. And Travis, do you know, is there any news? Is there any trending news on Groundhog's Day? Did this chubby little rodent see his shadow? Did this fat little badger no shadow? What happened?
There is some news, and it pains me to say that it's not great news.
What's that? New Jersey's weather predicting groundhog Milltown Mel has died. Oh my God! I am a Jersey boy, just like those Italian guys in the musical. And to hear that New Jersey's finest groundhog, Milltown Mel. Oh, let me tell you some stories about Milltown Mel. Actually, I don't know this is the first I've ever heard of Milltown Mel, but he died just before his big day. That he didn't show up. Inferior groundhog to the PA boy, says Grass Puddle. Yeah, Milltown Mel. You're no Punxsutawney Phil. Punxsutawney Phil, the preeminent groundhog, immortalized in the movie Groundhog's Day. Listen, I get it. Here's the thing. I'm not like a dark-hearted like monster. All right. I'm sad. I'll shed one tear for Milltown Mel. But also, bad timing much? Tomorrow's the big day. Like, if you died yesterday, like, worst timing. Now we'll never know. Now maybe we'll be stuck in a Groundhog's Day loop. But also, haven't we been in a Groundhog's Day loop just thanks to the pandemic? Debbie Butterfield in the house. It's a two Deb day right here on 2/2/22. I feel like a radio DJ. You are listening to 2/2/22. Rob Schaefer chiming in. Didn't some governor drop and kill the second-rate groundhog? Was it Cuomo? I don't remember that story in particular, but very possible. Listen, Andrew Cuomo fumbled a couple of things along the way. Hence, he's not no longer in office. So yeah, he's got some slippery fingers. And also some intrusive fingers, apparently. So Andrew Cuomo is no longer, or was it Mario Cuomo, his governor? It didn't end well. De Blasio won't celebrate Groundhog Day after killing Staten Island Chuck. Wow. So it was New York Mayor, former New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, has groundhog blood on his hands. I'm surprised he wasn't impeached. Staten Island Chuck. That's just a little random. Shouldn't it be Staten Island Steve? So you got Milltown Mel, Punxsutawney Phil. Which one of these is not like the other? Staten Island Chuck. That's just random. I think we've established that we need alliteration in the name of these groundhogs. Yeah, Travis is finding these articles. Best in the biz. Staten Island Stan, even better. Grass puddle, very much like that. If you want to, Emily needs a boy. Chiming in on the stream. Emily, welcome to the party, by the way. And listen, do you need are you talking about a boy groundhog, or just like you need like a guy in your life? Because we are not Tinder here on the Your Pal Hal show. But if we do love, and if we can make a love connection, I'm all for it. Travis, any other news on the groundhog? Any other? Oh, no. My mom chiming in. She says, watch your mouth about Mario Cuomo, a great governor. My mom, big Mario Cuomo fan. The former New York governor from, I guess, the 1980s. Travis, any other groundhog news? No other trending top. Groundhog Day 2022 prediction. 6 more weeks of winter. 6 more. All right, so we are going to be shivering into March. Oh, yes. My mom reminded me that my uncle Alden, worked with Governor Cuomo. The previous, not the disgraced Governor Cuomo, the Governor Cuomo who served out his term, as opposed to Governor Cuomo who resigned in disgrace. Rob Schaefer talking about Andrew. But as it turns out, Bill de Blasio is the guy that killed Staten Island Chuck. It was Staten Island Chuck mentioned in The King of Staten Island, the Pete Davidson movie. I wonder if so. Add that to famous Staten Island residents: Pete Davidson, Method Man, and the Wu-Tang Clan, and Staten Island Chuck. So, by the way, there's a pretty good parody song of Walking in Memphis, that old song, Walking in Staten, where they got the guy that sings Walking in Memphis, and Method Man, and Pete Davidson. It's a SNL parody. Not bad. So, I guess there's bad news, everybody. 6 more weeks of winter. Bundle up. Don't put away the galoshes, the scarf, the earmuffs, your parka just yet. And R.I.P. Milltown Mel Torme. All right, Travis, more trending topics. Oh, the Washington football team of the national, Mark Cohn, Rob Schaefer, thank you, sir. Mark Cohn sang Walking in Memphis. Got my feet 10 feet off a Beal. The Washington football team is no longer the Washington football team. They had changed their name from what was a racial slur, just a name that should have been changed long ago. They got rid of that. They changed it to the Washington football team, and now they have announced the name that they're going to go with, the name that they're going to ride with. It is here. I would like to know what you think about it. It is the Washington Commanders. That's it. The Washington Commanders. Yep. There's their coach chiming in, and let's see if on Wednesday, the Washington football team name the Washington Commanders, the 90-year-old NFL franchise, which came under scrutiny for its use of a slur for the Native Americans, as its former name announced their search for a new name in July 2020, according to USA Today. So there it is, the Commanders. Like, who are they? What are they commanding? Are they taking a commanding lead? There are a lot of puns that might not quite work out for them. Like, let's say the Washington Commanders are playing the New York Giants. The New York Giants have a commanding lead. Or if, let's say, it's a particularly anemic effort by the Washington. Let's just say the Commanders are not quite in command of this game. What is that? Is this their gear? Like Russian commandant? The commies. Yeah, like, that's not flattering. You know, this is not a communist country. Debbie Butterfield just chiming right in with that. Travis's mom. It sucks. She hates it. I heard the admirals bantied about. I wouldn't mind that. Although then you have, as immortalized in The Simpsons, you could joke about the dreaded rear admiral. I think it was one of the kids on The Simpsons, maybe Ralphie, Ralph Wiggum, was talking about how to tease and terrorize the other children. It was like wedgies, wet willies, and the dreaded rear admiral. Grass Puddle says their bad idea name was the Washington Georges. I kind of like that. You know, it's so silly. It's kind of like perfectly dumb, like reversal. Or what about the Washington George Washingtons? Did I just give them the perfect? Is there any way? Can we get them on the phone? The Washington George Washingtons. Oh, the Washington Red Wolves. That's kind of sick. I like that. Dang. Emily joined the stream. Emily. We established, just back to one thing we were talking about earlier. Emily says she needs a boy, and she's talking about a guy for Valentine's Day. So, Emily, like, I don't want to, I maybe just put it out there, and maybe you can, if we can get any listener chat, let's keep it like, nothing too, let's not get graphic or anything, but like, what do you like? If you could describe your perfect guy, if you want to throw that up in the chat, go for it. Gene, thank you for joining the show. Tate, welcome to the party. Tate coming to us down in Florida. So Emily, if you have anything you like, or how would you describe your perfect guy? We'll come back to that. My mom chiming in. Mario Cuomo is deceased, but he was loved, and then they renamed the Tappan Zee Bridge after him. Very nice. My mom, some New York tri-state area fun facts there. Grass puddle, Washington, George Washington's, not from Washington. The DC. Oh, what about just losing Washington and just calling them like the DC Washingtons, the Washington DCs. The Washington Deadly Cats, and you just shorten it to the DCs. Yeah, that needs work. Also, I am so glad to have everyone here. Here's just a little reminder of how you can be a part of the show and give us your suggestions for Washington team names that are better than the Commanders. Who are going to be inevitably called commies and are also going to be made fun of when they are not in command of the game. Or like if let's say there's some dissension in the locker room, I guess their coach needs to get command of his players, huh? So yeah, easily used against them. But if you want to communicate your name for your suggestion for the Washington franchise, football team, any thoughts on what we're doing, or if you just want to let us know what you're snacking on, or if you want to tell us what you would like to see in your perfect mate, as Emily may tell us here, go ahead and get your smart device's attention. Use the magic word "say," and then put in anything after that. So, smart device, say, I think they should be called the Washington Robocops. Or smart device, say, I think they should be called the Washington Piggies. That'd be cute. The Washington Piggies. Or you can also communicate with us by going to YouTube and chit-chatting with us there. Type in your chat. Or go to backchannel.tv. Talk to us there. And also leave a review of the show. You can say, Hal had some great ideas for the Washington football team name. Or Hal had terrible ideas for the Washington football name. Or Hal talked about the Washington football team's name just a little too much. Whatever you want to say, please go ahead and leave a review. And if you want to make it glowing and positive, that would be delightful. It is 11:34 here in the home office on the West Coast, Los Angeles, California. We'll be taking you up until 1 o'clock. It is 2:34 on the East Coast, where we're taking you up till 4 o'clock. It is 1:34 in Omaha, Nebraska, where we'll be taking you up till 3 p.m. Omaha, Nebraska, the home of Rob Schaefer, attorney at law, the official lawyer of the Your Pal Hal show. And it is 7:35 now, 7:35 in London, England, where we will be taking you up until 9 p.m. All right, so we have the Washington Commanders. They will be squaring off against all of the NFC East opponents and all the rest of their opponents in the National Football League next year. And coming up, I saw one more suggestion that Travis put in there, the Red Tails. I like the Red Tails. That's named after a group of African-American pilots from World War II, and that would have been a nice way to commemorate, and it's got a great history to it. But we went with the generic Commanders that no one seems to like right now, although it is fun just to hate on things. So, you know what? Washington, win some games and you'll shut everyone up. Win some games and you'll shut me up, all right? But until then, we will rag on you. So, other trending topics. Oh, Travis. I don't know about you, but I'm a fan of wild animals. I like the big cats, and there was a black tiger trending. Can we find a picture of this black tiger? There it is. You know, when I saw the black tiger trending, I was expecting a blacker tiger. This just looks like the lines are kind of different, but it's still black and orange. Like here's the thing. if I just saw this tiger, and for those who don't have the visual component, it's just like the stripes are thicker and closer together, but it's still a tiger. Like, I would not. So I'm a little underwhelmed. I'm a little underwhelmed by this quote unquote rare black tiger. No offense. Like, I'm not trying. Listen, I didn't come on the live stream today hoping to hurt a tiger's feelings. Okay? So, but yeah, I'm not, color me not impressed by the rare black tiger. I mean, Travis, am I wrong here? Is this slightly underwhelming? I was expecting a tiger that looked like a panther, you know? Travis, where do you weigh in?
I think that it does feel like someone put too much ink and it just kind of started bleeding through to the rest of the tiger.
That someone would be God, because God made all the creatures.
That's right. God spent a little too much time, a little too much force on that.
In his workshop.
Yeah, on that, whatever it's called, whatever pen they call it, something flow pen. Regardless, I did, however, look up a picture of like, well, let me see a black tiger next to what we consider to be a traditional tiger.
Okay. Okay.
And it's not apparent. I'll say that. You can see there's a visible difference. You know, honestly, and I think if you find, like, for example, this one is in the wild and it's rare because it's surviving out there. But if you find some other ones that you can see in captivity, like, let me pull this one here. I found, here are some tiger cubs of a white tiger with a black tiger.
Oh, sure.
And there you can see this thing's basically, that coat is dripping and drenched.
Dripping and drenched with some dark ink there, and the white tiger, the rare white tiger. See, I'm more impressed by the white tiger. Mm-hmm. The black tiger, yeah, I get it. I get it. Just, I just wanted to see like a panther style tiger.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh well.
I'm out of luck here.
Oh, did
Rob
you see?
Schaefer,
sorry, you go ahead. I have to find.
Yeah,
that.
Rob Schaefer said, if you like animals, Omaha has been voted the best zoo in the world for many years. What can't Omaha do? What was the name of that sandwich spot that we were talking about last week that sounded so good?
Oh, that had the
German meat and cheese. It was like an amped up cheesesteak.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure Rob will chime in. Began with an R. Runza. There it is. Yup. Yeah, Grass Puddle chiming in as well. Runza. Yeah. Oh, I mean, what a day that would be. The zoo and then a Runza sandwich. Like
paradise.
Best day ever. Day ever. What were you going to say, Travis?
Did you catch the video that was going around of the footage of the Tasmanian tiger that they colorized?
What the what now?
So you know how, like, in newer documentaries of World War II or anything, they will go through and sort of colorize the footage. They'll impart real life color into black and white footage.
Oh, yeah, and that became popular with Ted Turner and Turner Classic Movies in the 80s, 90s. That's when they, so it wasn't like World War II per se, it was old movies in general, and they started colorizing it. And the color, it looked pretty unnatural and weird, and also it's just unnecessary. Black and white movies are beautiful and they're a thing unto themselves. So, it was just kind of like weird and like a little too just like watercolor looking. So they painted. So what happened?
Well, it's gotten better. First of all, it's gotten way better. And they upscaled, like they did with, for example, the Beatles Get Back documentary. They upscaled to 4K and colorized a video of a Tasmanian tiger in captivity, which is a long extinct creature for about a century now. And it's just really cool to see this animal that doesn't exist anymore sort of like it does now. This is what it would be like if one of those was just kind of hanging out.
Damn. Yeah, it looks a little bit like a hyena.
Yeah.
Tasmanian tiger. Oh, yeah, look at those stripes on the rear haunches there.
Yeah.
You a fan of that Tasmanian devil from the Looney Tunes?
Oh, you kidding me? One of my favorite things I can never understand.
Oh yeah, just whirling around like a maniac. There you go.
But yeah, in the
that's pretty cool looking.
Fun animal stuff news. It's funny how really almost prehistoric it kind of looks.
Right?
Like there's something almost kind of rodent-like about its sort of outline, but it's like a small, medium cat thing.
Yeah.
Funny animal.
Very
Anyways.
cool. That's awesome. Rob Schaefer says scientists are talking about making some clones of that tiger. They have its DNA. Oh yeah, just like they did in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
They took the DNA from a bug in amber, a mosquito in amber, and they found dinosaur DNA. Emily saying hello again. Ryder joined the stream. Welcome, Ryder. Tracy's in the house. Thank you for being here. Charlie, welcome to the show. Charlie in California, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you being here. So let's go back to the NFL. We stepped away. Now we're come back for a second. This is interesting. So there's the idea of tanking in sports. It's not unique to the NFL. So teams intentionally, between you and me, in sort of, kind of losing games in order to increase their draft stock. In order to, the worse record you have, the better your draft pick will usually be. How that works out. And Hugh Jackson, the former head coach of the Cleveland Browns, is saying that he was, and this is damning, because this throws off just the balance of if people are actually, incentivized financially to lose games. Like, coaches are paid to do well, but if the team owners and the general manager have this alternate agenda, so much so that they are literally trying to put a bad product on the field and financially incentivizing coaches to lose games. Like, that just seems like a next level, like beyond the pale kind of thing. So, if you want to bring up some stuff here about Hugh Jackson, yeah. So from Sports Illustrated, Hugh Jackson claims Browns owner Jimmy Haslam offered bonus for losses. Like, just as a fan of the team, I mean, you kind of want to give up, It's like, what? They're literally going out on the field and the coach. So what is the coach doing? Is the coach like intentionally calling crappy plays? Like, yeah, throw the ball into the sidelines. Like, put in our worst players. And couldn't that get people hurt as well? Former Dolphins coach Brian Flores. Okay, so this might be, I guess, is this coinciding with Brian Flores, the former coach of the Miami Dolphins? He was fired. Now he's filing a class action lawsuit against the NFL for discriminatory hiring practices. Brian Flores filed a class action suit against the NFL as well as the Broncos, Dolphins, and Giants on Tuesday, alleging racist hiring practices. Flores expects other coaches to join the suit and got some public support from notable former NFL coach Hugh Jackson, who led the Browns from 2016 to 2018. Among the most glaring accusation from Flores is that Miami owner Stephen Ross offered $100,000 per loss during his first season in 2019. The team entered the year with an extremely meager expectations, but overachieved under Flores, going 5-11, which is still crappy, but better than expected. Flores was one of the most surprising firings of this coaching cycle after 10-6 and 9-8 records over the last 2 years. Yeah, just narrowly missed the playoffs. Jackson seems to indicate that Ross wasn't alone in incentivizing his team losing. I mean, that's just shocking. And you know what? We get it, but it's kind of one of those things like, yeah, keep it kind of hush hush. We know that you want to tank for the better picks, but the less we know about it, the better. And that owners wouldn't just kind of hush hush encourage it, but would incentivize with bonuses. It just goes against everything you feel that sports should be about. And listen, I'm no dope. I know it's all a for-profit business and an industry, and the NFL in the past has not cared about people getting hurt, has swept scientific data about concussions and CTE, traumatic brain injuries, under the rug. But Grass Puddle chiming in. It's funny. If Hugh Jackson got paid per loss, he'd be a billionaire. Yeah, the Browns under Hugh Jackson, not good. Were those the Johnny Manziel years? Yeah, Johnny Manziel. One of the Browns' many mistakes. So it's just disheartening as a fan. But is anything sacred anymore? We've lived in the steroid era. We went through Pete Rose betting on games. We had the referee scandal, Tim Donaghy in the NBA betting on games. We're through the looking glass. The curtain has been pulled back. So this is just one thing that I shouldn't be surprised. I should be just jaded by now. But I'm trying to see the world through childlike eyes with wonder. But no. Screw that. Hugh Jackson coming out saying that incentivized to lose. Travis.
I feel like it's also worth noting that a lot of how this started was Brian Flores was brought in to interview, or was scheduled to have an interview with the New York Giants for their head coaching position, when current Patriots head coach Bill Belichick texted him to congratulate him on getting the job before he had interviewed. It was then revealed later in the text that Bill Belichick was assuming he thought he was texting Brian Dobbs, the guy they actually had hired.
Wow.
Because he got inside intel. And the text messages are out. You can look at them. He had inside intel that Brian Dobbs got the job. And Brian Flores was like, I haven't even gone there. He realized his goof and says, I'm so sorry. The reason this is news is the NFL has something called the Rooney Rule, in which a minority
the team
coaching candidate
must interview X number of minority candidates.
Exactly. So the idea that they had made their decision before bringing Flores in makes it seem like they were just checking a box, which is terrible. Yeah,
terrible. By the way, got to say hi to some folks who are joining the show. A couple of folks joining the show for the first time. Wendy is in the house. Wendy, hello to you. Thanks for the shout out. Nancy, appreciate you being here. Nancy coming to us from Georgia. Wendy coming to us from the great state of New Hampshire. Sebastian, welcome to the party. Thank you for being here, folks. It is 11:50 from the home office in Los Angeles, California, and we're going to be here for up until the 1 o'clock hour on the West Coast. Going to be here till 4 o'clock on the East Coast, and I would love it if you participate in the show. Give us your thoughts, your comments on anything we are chatting about. Continuing on with our trending topics on Twitter. So Jeff Zucker, the head of CNN, stepped down, and I was talking about this story with my wife earlier. He stepped down because apparently he had an undisclosed relationship with someone at the network. So yeah, they say don't crap where you eat. All right. Don't go doing sex stuff. Don't go getting into relationships, messing around with your coworkers, because it's going to make for a sticky situation. But the head of the network in a consensual relationship with someone, it's like, okay, wait, what am I missing that he did, or that are preemptively leaving? Like, is that enough for like a consensual relationship. You're the head of the network. Like, can't you like apologize for not revealing it? And it, yeah, don't zuck where you work, says Grass Puddle. Make sure to hit that Z hard. Don't zuck where you work. Thank you, Grass Puddle. If you want to bring up anything on that story there, Travis. Jeff Zuckerberg. So CNN Worldwide President Jeff Zuckerberg announced his resignation to employees on Wednesday and shared with him that he previously failed to disclose a consensual relationship with his closest colleague. Katie Couric flagged Jeff Zucker's super strange ties to Alison Gollust in her memoir. Nothing about Jeff Zucker's story adds up. Yeah, and they know it. So is there more at play here? Is this just a convenient kind of not too controversial way to get him to step down? It's resigns over CNN president Jeff Zucker resigns over consensual relationship with key lieutenant. So, what? It's just weird. That doesn't seem like something you need to leave the company over. If it's two consenting adults, even if you are like breaking a policy, if you're doing your job, I don't know. That seems like a rash decision. Is there going to be more to come? Is there going to be damage control? Is there going to be Kel Skandal? This is not terrible situation. The Matt Lauer situation. Matt Lauer had like a button on his desk where he could lock the door, and like people were trying to get out of the room, and like that's horrific. But yeah, this Zucker story, with CNN, I don't know what is exactly at play here. Here's in a statement of her own, so the woman who was in the relationship, he was in the relationship with, Gollust, says, Jeff and I have been close friends and professional partners for over 20 years. Recently, our relationship changed during COVID. I regret that we didn't disclose it at the right time. I'm incredibly proud of my time at CNN and look forward to continuing the great work we do every day. So there you go. The news of Zucker's resignation sent shockwaves inside CNN and across the industry. CNN employees had no idea what was coming before Zucker's email landed in their inboxes shortly before 11 a.m. Eastern. Warner Media, in the process of merging with Discovery, many media observers thought Zucker was in line for a promotion once that deal was complete. That is not the only reason this is a pivotal time for the network. CNN plans to launch an ambitious streaming service, CNN Plus, in the spring, and it also needs to roll out a new 9 p.m. program to replace Cuomo. A lot of Cuomo talk today. Chris Cuomo got fired for his role in helping Andrew Cuomo, his brother, do damage control. It was a conflict of interest to what he was supposed to do. Report the news. Just kind of, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. I don't think there's anything definitive here, and maybe we're all wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's nothing fishy about this. Maybe it's just, the guy is like, listen, my bad. Didn't kind of kept this relationship under wraps. I'm gonna peace out. Just while we're on the cusp of all these big doings, a streaming network, a merger, new tentpole shows being put in place. Yeah, I'm just going to go. I'm going to see myself out. Yeah, it's just interesting timing. Smells a little fishy. I don't know. Cherise says, People has an article about Katie Couric mentioning the ex-CNN president. We thank you for that, Cherise. Appreciate that. We just saw the headline there as we were scrolling through. Games in Florida. Welcome to the party. Rose in Texas. Thank you for being here. And again, folks, it is 11:56 a.m. here in Los Angeles, California. It is 2:56 p.m. on the East Coast, 1:57 p.m. in Omaha, Nebraska, 7:57 p.m. in London, England. And again, if you want to communicate with us, if you want to chime in on any of the topics we're chatting about, go ahead and any of the topics, or just let us know what you're up to. Or if you are looking for a boyfriend, like our friend Emily, please let us know. And you can do that by getting your smart device's attention. Use the magic word "say," and then drop in anything after that. Let us know what you're snacking on, okay? So smart device, say, I'm eating a big old bowl of chili. Smart device, say, I am crushing some nachos. Or smart device, say, I am talking on my banana like it's a phone, okay? And you can also chat with us on YouTube or go to backchannel.tv, and leave us some thoughts or comments there. One more trending topic before we get to our Twitter deep dive. So we have noted on this show that basically everything, every man, woman, and child, every piece of food, every sport, every hobby, every job, every profession has its own day. Okay? National Cupcake Day, National Bagel Day, National Cell Phone Day, National Telephone Operator Day, National Customer Service Representative Day, National Pen Day, National Pencil Day, National French Fry Day, National Sweet Potato Fry Day, National Onion Ring Day, National Hash Brown Day. Everything has a day. And a lot of them are frivolous. Today is I saw a day trending. Not so bad. I kind of like this day. This is a worthwhile day. Listen, we've seen some crappy, dumb days that it's like, really? That's a thing? Does anyone even care about that? But it is National Girls and Women's Sports Day. That's a good thing. Oh, every day is National Mom's Name Debbie Day, Debbie Butterfield. But today is National Girls and Women's Sports Day. And that's a good thing. There you go. Paving the way for the next generation. Now you can see it. So let's go ahead and read some of Major League Baseball. And that's really cool. But back to the Major League Baseball thing. We are seeing for the first time, there was just the first minor league baseball coach, female minor league baseball coach, was hired by the Yankees in the offseason. In the NBA, there are female referees, and there was the San Antonio Spurs had a female coach for a while, and we see just that much more of the influence of women's sports. And just yesterday, we were talking on this show about Grass Puddle chiming in, his mom's name also Deborah. We were just talking about the show about the Mount Rushmore of sports, coinciding with the retirement of Tom Brady. Serena Williams, a strong contender for the Mount Rushmore of sports. So, National Girls and Women's Sports Day. We have a tweet from Washington University. And on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, there are many women athletes, coaches that we can honor. As former athlete, I'll always champion women's sports. This comes from Lauren Mallett Hayes for Congress. All right, good luck in your congressional bid there. Softball America says, Happy National Girls and Women's Sports Day. Very nice. A worthy a worthy day to celebrate and commemorate. And I feel like, especially because the pay disparities between men and women's sports, especially like in a sport like soccer, you have the women's national soccer team, who is a perennial powerhouse. Like, really just Olympic gold medals, World Cup championships, getting paid so much less than the men's U.S. soccer team, who is, seemingly an also-ran. So it's an interesting conundrum, and it's a good day to commemorate. And if you got any female athletes in your life, give them a high five, give them a fist pound. Tell them to keep up the good work. Ladies, it's your time to shine. Happy National Girls and Women's Sports Day. There you go. It is 12:03 here on the West Coast, Los Angeles, California, your Pal Hal show. So, today's Twitter deep dive. Every day on the show, we take a look at a Twitter account that is either maybe a company, maybe a celebrity, maybe something interesting, or sometimes we'll do a deep dive around a hashtag or a trending topic. Today, I found an interesting account, also because the world is in a little bit of a state of upheaval with a potential war going on between Russia and the Ukraine, NATO. I wanted to look at one of the most mysterious agencies in the world, the KGB. And there's a Twitter account known as the KGB Files. And the KGB Files were started by a Ukrainian historian, PhD, and researcher of KGB archives. That is the creator of the KGB Files YouTube channel as well. So today we're going to open up the mysterious files of the KGB and see. By the way, Rob Schaefer chiming in, back to our trending topic of Girls and Women's Sports Day. The women's team traded higher per game salary for guaranteed salary, such as last year with no games. The men got paid nothing and the women got fully paid. Well, there you go. There you go. Thank you for that clarification, Rob Schaefer. Appreciate that. Little foresight there during the pandemic. All right. So we open up the KGB files. What we find may shock you, or what we find may be a bit of a snooze. We'll see. All right. KGB, Russian spy agency, the KGB. Let's see what they got. Let's see what we got in these KGB files. 28,000 followers. All right. Still working on building that following. Let's see some of these tweets from the KGB files. First, a document about the KGB's plan to influence the results of the 1964 U.S. presidential election recently found in a Moscow archive. Our new episode is dedicated to this. Well, call me Sally and invite me for a drink. That the KGB doesn't want Goldwater in the White House. Yeah, so Lyndon Johnson, I guess, was running against Goldwater then. Lyndon Johnson took over. He was Kennedy's vice president and then served for a term after Kennedy was assassinated. Very interesting. Just the fact that this meddling in the election, Russia trying to assert influence, as we established in the 2016 election, which led to the first impeachment of President Trump. One of his two, just one of the many accomplishments, trying to overturn democracy, getting impeached twice. One of the many accomplishments of Donald Trump, way back in 1964. That's crazy. I wonder just how, that's a fascinating subject matter. Like, how many elections have not just Russia but other world powers, like in the 1940s, or the 30s, or even back to the teens, like were like were Germany or Japan or any other nations that the U.S. was at odds with, trying to influence our elections, trying to encourage a different result or a particular outcome that might benefit their pursuits. Because, when you look at what happened in, like, with the 2016 election, it directly influences what's happening right now. Like wanting the U.S. out of NATO, wanting Ukraine not to join NATO. Now Russia is trying to invade the Ukraine potentially, and NATO is just one of the barriers that is in their way. Yeah, very interesting stuff. But that's fascinating that it went back. That the roots of that occurred in 64. Rob Schaefer saying the Russians have tried to interfere in every election we have had in the last 70 years. If they haven't, I would be shocked. There you go. There you go. Makes sense, Rob. Let's keep going with this KGB files. The KGB files. My name is Vladimir. I am opening up the KGB files. Please enjoy. A site at a recreation center in the Tula region of Russia was named after Valery Legasov, but an actor, Jared Harris, who played Legasov in the HBO series Chernobyl, was depicted on the plate instead of the scientist himself. Wow, can we make that bigger? This is fascinating. That's wild. So if you could see, by the way, Chernobyl, great miniseries, really well done for HBO about the meltdown of the reactor at Chernobyl. So, this man who they're honoring was the person who rang the alarm bells. He sounded the alarm bells about, folks, this Chernobyl thing, it's kind of a big deal, and it's going to poison and kill people and lead to a disaster here. We need, we need to be on top of this. So they wanted to honor him, and so they honored this man, but instead of the actual guy, they put a picture of the actor Jared Harris, who played him in the show. That's either some really funny trolling or a huge fail. Probably the latter. That's a fail. You're honoring this scientist, legendary scientist who saved so many lives near Chernobyl, and you put a picture of the actor who played him. Yeah. That's a fail. You had one job. Find a picture of the guy. But I don't know. Jared Harris, he's pretty cool. He's been in some Mad Men, Foundation on Apple TV right now. So yeah, it's Jared Harris Day in Russia, I guess. All right, let's keep going through the KGB files. By the way, shout out to Joel, who joined the stream in California. Joel, welcome to the party. Great to have you here. Stacy, down in Texas, always great to see you. And by the way, Stacy reminding us she was in the Special Olympics. Very cool. That is awesome. Thank you, Stacy. Of course, we'll never forget that. Appreciate you sharing that with us. So let's see what else we got in the KGB files here. Tennis players at the sports parade in Moscow in 1935. Wow. Them some big old tennis rackets. That's
or maybe they were very little.
Oh, maybe they were the tiniest of people marching. Very nice. Let's see some more here. Long live the Constitution of Freedom, Joy, and Happiness. Demonstration in honor of the adoption of the Stalin Constitution in 1936. Okay. Handmade carpet with portraits of Soviet Bulgarian leaders Leonid Brezhnev and Todor Zhikov. A gift from the delegation of the Pazardzhik district, Bulgaria, who visited Stavropol. Listen, I didn't know there. Man, I should have figured there'd be a lot of tough Russian pronunciations here. 1971. That's a handsomely embroidered rug there, right there. That is a handsome remembrance of the USSR. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Keep scrolling here. Come on, give me some spy stuff in the KGB files. Right now, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I want a little intrigue. I want some Kerry Russell, Matthew Rhys, Americans type stuff. You ever watch the show The Americans on FX? I want some Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I want some Mr. Bond. I am here to kill you, Mr. Bond. You know what? I want the intrigue. I want like poison. Like not the band Poison. I like just like poisoning someone, like a secret agent. I want a double agent. I want a triple agent. I want the very rare quadruple agent. But right now, it's getting like listen, that's a cool rug. Like, you know, that's kind of a sick rug, but not exactly scratching the KGB spy itch, if you know what I mean. All right, let's see a couple more of these before we move on, Travis. Just a couple more tweets, but I'm almost had it up to here with the KGB files because started off pretty good. There was the funny thing about Jared Harris and everything, but yeah, not gonna lie. I want a little more. Another signature of an iconic KGB officer from the SBU archive. This is a young Major General Philip Bobkov, deputy head of newly created 5th Ideological Department, which dealt with dissidents in 1968. Okay, very good, very good. Some key figures here. Bobkov. All right, let's keep scrolling. Nikita Khrushchev, very good. Scrolling. Soviet railroad workers proposed to rename January to Lenin Paniutino shortly after the death of Lenin. Okay. Very good. All right. You know what? I feel like I've had enough of walking down KGB memory lane here. I would love a little more spy stuff, but interesting. Listen, some interesting peeks into history there. Stalin, Khrushchev, former Soviet Union, and it's interesting that Russia's influence has... they've been a superpower since, I guess, the 50s is when the Cold War started. Wouldn't mind a little more intrigue here, but we started off with some fascinating stuff. The election meddling, 1964, resonates today, and some interesting tidbits. There's the KGB files, KGB_files, if you're interested in checking out a little bit more. It is 12:15 here on the West Coast in the home office, Los Angeles, California. Grass Puddle chiming in. Washington D.C. has a nice spy museum. You know what? I might have to check it out. I like the spy stuff. I like the spy stuff. And right now, we are going to switch gears and move into a little bit of... by the way, Rob Schaefer says, maybe the KGB files deep dive could have moved to rejected segments. Yeah, right? Thank you, Rob Schaefer. Thank you for that. So we are going to move into some Recs and reviews. And we are going to talk about a couple of new shows that are just getting underway here. So first off, I watched the first couple of episodes of the latest show from Julian Fellows, who is the man behind Downton Abbey. Now, I don't know about you, but I find Downton Abbey to be just a relaxing, really enjoyable show, and it really takes you away to another era. And the language is so precise and so well done. And I love Maggie Smith. I like Hugh Dancy, and like everybody on that show. I thought it was just a really impressive and beautiful, and takes you into kind of like a portal to another world. So Julian Fellows is back with his new show. It's kind of like, if you want to overly simplify, it's like an American version of Downton Abbey. It takes place in the late 1800s. The show is called The Gilded Age. And, it's very similar, but it's also unique unto itself. So at first, I found it a little less interesting than Downton Abbey, because one of the things I really loved about Downton Abbey was we're getting this first look at the life of a royal family, what it's like to be in that stratosphere in England, to live on this upper crust. By the way, no, there's a little bit. Travis says if you hear anything coming to my mic, there's some coming from my mic. There's some construction outside. Yeah, there's like a jackhammer outside, so I apologize for any jackhammer.
Oh,
noises.
My bad. I thought it was a vent of like a text.
Oh yeah. Here, maybe if I put a little bit more buffer under it. One thing I liked about Downton Abbey was pulling back the curtain on these privileged lifestyle of royals, of like dukes, earls, duchesses, the Earl of Grantham, who we followed, and not following like a royal family, I found to be just like a little bit more pedestrian. It's like, just like old-timey rich people in the new show, The Gilded Age. But then as the story started to unfold, it was a really fascinating juxtaposition between the old guard, old money, as they say, and new money. And it comes to a head in late 1800s New York, where this takes place, and you're watching the jockeying for position in the social strata, and who are the most powerful families in New York. So it follows families like probably names that you've heard of: the Astors, the Vanderbilts, the Roosevelts in New York, and then a fictional family called the Russells. And the Russells are new money, and they're trying to kind of weasel their way in, work their way in to socialize with these other families. And the interplay, you get some really interesting, fascinating dynamics in how important these seemingly insignificant things are. Like, it's like, rich people are rich people, and they're going to do rich people things. But the guard between not letting new money socialize and be invited to the party and play all the reindeer games with the old money, and how the nouveau riche, not wanting them to come and sully our tradition. And there's some really great performers and actors in this. Carrie Coon, who I love from the show The Leftovers, is really great in this. Cynthia Nixon, who you know from Sex and the City, and then a lot of newcomers. Meryl Streep's daughter is one of the main characters. And you still in this show have that interplay between the upstairs and the downstairs. If you remember in Downton Abbey, you had the people who worked on this grand estate. You followed their lives of like the blue collar, like common people who worked to serve the people who lived above, the residents of the house, the upper and lower house, and you have that same dynamic here. Also, Christine Berenger is. Christine Baranski. She's fantastic in this show. She's good in everything she does. You know her from the Good Wife and many other shows. So this is similar, and but it tells enough of a different story in its own right that it's very interesting, and there's some really fun, delicious turns of phrase. The writing is great. There's some cool power plays in seeing these people trying to jockey for social position in 18th century New York. So absolutely worth checking out. As we saw when we first brought it up, it got 80% on Rotten Tomatoes right now from critics. So generally well regarded. The Gilded Age, and this is on HBO Max. HBO Max. There are 2 episodes out right now. The first episode is about an hour and a half. So it's about an hour and a half, like setting up the whole story, and then the next episode is closer to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. The Gilded Age. There are 2 episodes right now on HBO Max. If you missed Downton Abbey and are a fan of Julian Fellows, this will absolutely scratch that itch. Another new show that just dropped that I'm very excited to take a look at is Pam and Tommy on Hulu. And season 1 is out, and it's receiving some strong reviews, 87%. This show, I haven't watched it yet. It literally just hit it just went live on the streaming services. By the way, shout out to Denny's who's in the house. Thank you for joining us. Frank, good to have you here. Appreciate everybody being with us today. So this show, Pam and Tommy, it covers the scandal of the Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee sex tape that was, I guess, you could say Pam and Tommy walked so Kim Kardashian and Ray J could fly. The Pam and Tommy sex tape was like, I guess, the granddaddy of of all sex tapes. Am I forgetting one? Was there another sex tape before the Pam and Tommy Lee sex tape? But anyway, this tells the story of how that sex tape got out there. And it's Lily James and Sebastian Stan as Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. It's produced by Seth Rogen, who also plays a part of, along with Nick Offerman, the dudes who got a hold of the sex tape to sell it. Taylor Schilling, who you know from Orange is the New Black, is also in this. And let's go ahead and read a few of the reviews of what the critics are saying about Pam and Tommy. Travis, you want to bring a couple of those up? Thank you. The Observer says, Pam and Tommy knows what it's doing. All right. Better for a show to know what it's doing than to have no idea what it's doing. I'll just say that. Aisha Harris from NPR says, chaotic, also thoroughly entertaining. That's a fun vibe. Like, I could get on board with that. Lucy Mangan from the Guardian says, a warm, funny, intelligent, and rather moving drama with astonishing performances from Lily James as Anderson and Sebastian Stan as Lee. There you go. Very solid review. Okay, here's a less than stellar review from Carol Midgley of the Times UK. Essentially a cartoon, a polished, well-made, and Moorish one, granted, but a tacky one all the same. Okay, so a kind of a tacky cartoon. This is just, kind of a caricaturish version of what could happen, of what went down. Lorraine All of the LA Times says it's nostalgic to watch this collection of it's nostalgic fun to watch this collection of outlandish, warped, and helium-headed LA characters stumble into the future. Cool. I like that. All of these reviews, most of them just out today or in the past few days, because this just went live on Hulu. Catherine Van Arendonk of New York Magazine Vulture. It's enough to satisfy the cultural revisitation urge, the desire to be surprised by a story you thought you already knew. There you go. And last one we'll take a look at. Clint Worthington from RogerEbert.com. For all its strong performances, stylish direction, and curious whiplash of tones, Pam and Tommy ends up mired in its own ethical quicksand. Interesting. Yeah, because obviously, if this sex tape was stolen, you're exploiting and you are really exposing and just breaching privacy of these people. So are we doing that again by telling this story? That's an interesting conundrum. So it says it gets mired in its own moral quicksand there. Interesting. It's an interesting point. But I'm definitely going to take a look at this. It looks to be really fun, and it's just like a fascinating, again, time capsule of just one of the weirdest pop culture moments of the 90s. It is 12:29 here on the West Coast, Los Angeles, California, home office, your pal Hal. I am Hal Rudnick hanging out with you. We're going to be with you for another half hour. We'll be with you up until 1 o'clock on the West Coast, up until 4 p.m. on the East Coast, up until 3 p.m. in Omaha, Nebraska, the home of Rob Schaefer, attorney at law, and until 9 p.m. in London, England. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Xander, who just joined the show. Xander coming to us from Tennessee. Great to have you here. Joe, welcome to the program, hanging out with us in Hawaii. Very nice. Glad to have you here. And I would love it for anyone and everyone who's hanging out with us. Please feel free to comment on any of the topics that we're talking about today. Hang in and chat with us. I would love to hear anything that you're thinking, that you're doing. So we're going to shift gears now. And you know what? Let's jump into, Travis, the Ask Reddit segment, okay? The Ask Reddit. So we are going to head on over to the Reddit website, and we're going to go through a little section they have called Ask Reddit. And there was a thread here that I found particularly interesting on the Ask Reddit. There we go. What's the reason you've been banned from an establishment, such as a shop or a restaurant, cafe? And if anyone here has been, banned from a restaurant. I would love to hear why you've been banned from that restaurant, a gym, a bar. What did you do? Was it fair? Was it not fair? There were some fascinating entries into this Reddit thread. So, starting out, I was banned from a mall arcade when I was a kid for holding all of the whack-a-moles down. Wow. I mean, I wouldn't think that would be trouble unless, did you break the whack-a-mole? Were you, yeah, but, if you didn't break it, I don't see why that would be a problem. I got banned for using 2 hammers at whack-a-mole. 2 games side by side, both hammers reached each game. They said I cheated, took my tickets, and banned me. Wow. I mean, sounds like you were just an industrious young person, and you were just too good. You were like a whack-a-mole savant. Like, that's next level. I would not have banned it. And by the way, the arcade that banned them, they're out of business now, but I think I'm not allowed at the Vax clinic they set up instead at that mall space. Well, that would be a long memory, and that would be sad. I hope you're able to get vaxxed somewhere else. Oh, boy. Papaya_flight on Reddit says, this is how I got banned from Chuck E. Cheese. If you want pizza and frightening animatronic characters. I figured out that I could take a ball from the game where you shoot the clown's teeth and use it at the skee ball machine. The skee ball machine would count the points but not the ball used, which enabled me to play forever with just 1 ball and max out the machine. I did it on 2 skee ball machines before someone noticed, and I got banned/kicked out. Wow. Okay. Damn. You know what? I'm glad you didn't get banned from Chuck E. Cheese for doing anything like hiding in the ball pit and like grabbing someone or anything. I think that's kind of mild. Although it could have been cool. I wouldn't have mind hearing a story about like tackling one of the animatronic characters in the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic band, kind of like the bears, the family bears at Disney, the sweet Chuck E. Cheese band. More stories of getting banned, getting kicked out. First time my husband went to Dave & Buster's, this machine was supposed to give me like 50 tickets, says Fine Emergency 420. It never stopped giving out tickets, and we just sat there for like 10 minutes collecting and then felt guilty and left, and a kid took his fill, and when we went back got more and then bought so much stupid merchandise. It was fun. The machine was still going when we left. Wow. I mean, listen, if the machine's broken, what are you going to do? All right, Troubadour 222 says, back in the late 80s, I was in the Florida Keys with a group of friends. The Florida Keys in the late 80s. We're talking Miami Vice. Stuff went down. I got drunk and went to bed, and some of the guys went out bar hopping. The next morning, a deputy sheriff showed up at the place we were renting, told us to pack our things, and he would escort us to the county line, and we were not to come back. Damn. So not only did I get banned from an entire Florida county, I never did get a straight story about what the guys who were at the bar did to get us banned. You got to get that story. That's just, I didn't think that happened in real life. Like the sheriff comes and be like, all right, we don't want you around here. I'm going to escort you to the county line. Don't come back. That's wild. Someone commented, "Holy crap, Monroe County deputy escorted you all the way to the mainland. Considering how rowdy Key West can get, your buddies must have done something heinous." Yeah, and Golden Tech says, and in the 80s, weren't the Keys basically an entirely made out of entirely cocaine at that time? There you go. Another story of getting banned or kicked out. Taking pictures of produce and price signs at a small grocery store while shopping. I was just trying to keep track of which stores had which food at cheaper prices so I could plan my shopping trips. I mean, yeah, you can't photograph that fruit without its consent, I guess. Interesting. Don't photograph the produce. Got banned from a local Kmart about 25 years ago, says Aquaritech, for figuring out that if you just slap the handle on the old twist-turn candle dispensers, that took a quarter, it would just give you, candy dispensers, it would give you free candy. Yeah, they call that stealing. They took my photo and everything. Wow. And then someone said, do you remember those old, like, you put the quarter in the supermarket and turn the thing and the candy comes out? I used to love those things. And not only candy, it was toys. Do they still have? I don't think they do. Damn, I haven't thought about those in a while. I also like those ones where you put the quarters in and you crank it in, and a sticker comes out. Loved those stickers. I used to love shiny stickers. Oh, yeah, those little machine prizes, the candies and the stickers. That's good stuff. Someone says, we used to tell a story similar to this as a buddy of mine was 12 and got caught stealing from Walmart. They gave him a life sentence to never go into another Walmart. About 5 years later, we finally got him to go into Walmart with us. And it was like he was behind enemy lines, nervous, always looking over his shoulder, like a Walmart cop is going to come arrest him. Still hilarious. Nice. Okay, here's another story. This reminds me of a time like 10 years ago. I was living with my girlfriend, and one night we went to a local grocery store to get a few things. Again, this is the Reddit, Ask Reddit thread of getting kicked out or banned from a store, a bar, an establishment. We went to a local grocery store to get a few things. On the way out, she went to the machine to get a Mellow Yellow. It dispensed it, also sent the money back. And this was a 20-ounce bottle, not a can. So we're like, well, a lot of good soda in this machine. We took about 30 out of there when we noticed some kid from the grocery store was looking at us. We just turned to him and grinned, and he gave us a thumbs up. To paraphrase Streetcar, it's Streetcar Named Desire, I've always depended upon the kindness of people who don't give a crap about their crappy jobs. Nice. All right, here's our next story of getting kicked out or banned from an establishment. My roommates and I went with a few friends out to a bar one night to drink. I like how this is starting. We had grown a single beautiful watermelon in our yard and brought him along to party with us. Named him Walter Melon, pronounced Melone, Walter Melone. We snuck the watermelon into the bar and generally just passed it around and praised him for being a good melon. Weird. At first, the bouncers didn't care. They came up to us and just told us to be careful with it. One of my friends got pretty drunk and started holding it above his head and dancing with it. The bouncers had enough of our shenanigans, tried to take it. My drunk friend agreed with them that he'd leave with the melon. A few minutes later, my friend makes it back into the bar with the melon under his jacket. He had snuck it through and back to avoid the bouncers. Did his friend pretend he was just pregnant or put on a lot of weight? Watermelon's kind of a hard thing to sneak through. Once they saw the melon again, they got pretty pissed, LOL, and kicked us all out. We argued for our melon back, but to no avail. R.I.P. Walter Melone. Funnily enough, a group of dudes who left the bar had seen and heard about the melon incident. As we were all hanging out outside the bar waiting for an Uber, the dudes drove past, stopped, and handed us a pumpkin, LOL. So we ended up the night melonless, but with a new pumpkin friend. We got banned temporarily, but I could probably go back. Well, a happy ending there. Hey, Travis, my mom was asking me where's my sticker door, because I used to take the stickers I got from machines and put them on doors. Grass Puddle says they 100% still have the candy and toy dispensers. All right, maybe I'm just not looking hard enough, because sadly, I've grown out of them. Travis, have you ever gotten kicked out of a bar, a restaurant?
No, but one time I left before I probably was about to.
Gotcha. Can you tell us what led up to the sticky situation?
Bowling alley in Vacaville, California, in the spring of 2017. I was wrapping up a production of Cabaret at a theater the size of a thimble, and the cast decided to have the wrap party at a bowling alley. Now, I'm not a particularly good bowler, but I'll do it once in a while. But generally, about halfway through the game, I get bored. This bowling alley was special in that at the tip of the lane, they had essentially a speedometer that would tell you how fast you were throwing the ball. From what I could gather, it topped out at about 25 miles per hour. That seemed to be the upper limit, the threshold.
Sure.
So my game within the game became, I no longer care about hitting pins. I want to throw this ball 25 miles an hour. As I was working my way through the frames, I was getting 22, 23, 21, 24 point something. Last frame, last ball, said, this is it. I don't care if I dislocate my shoulder. I'm throwing this ball 25 miles an hour. In my state of complete focus, I grabbed a extremely similar but different ball, which had a thumb hole that was slightly smaller than the one I was using before. So I step up to the bowling plate or whatever, and I do that thing where you walk up, and I wind back, and I huck this thing as hard as I've ever hucked anything in my entire life, expecting it to fly directly forward and cross whatever the line that measures speed, hit the 25, and I feel very great. Nobody else cares, but I don't care. I threw the ball 25 miles an hour. I'm going to take that to my grave. Instead, it sticks onto my thumb, maybe half a second longer than it should have. And instead of releasing forward, it flies off at an angle. Whoa. 45 degrees directly toward, excuse me, I just ripped my own headphones out in my state of fervor, directly toward the drywall to my left. Hits it. Makes a dent like a small comet. Bounces back across 3 lanes and gutter balls to my right.
Epic.
I left immediately.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Wow. My mom chiming in that I'm a great bowler. I do. I was on the bowling team in high school.
Nice.
I do have my own ball and shoes. I think I relayed the story of getting kicked out or kicked off. I was kicked off the track team in high school.
Oh yeah.
Because I was causing a little bit of a disturbance during our warm-ups, during our stretches, and then I was told to leave the gymnasium. And as I was leaving the gymnasium, I said very loudly, "Bye." And I wish I had bowling team picks, Grass Puddle. I you know what? If I can find the yearbook from that year, that would be amazing. So I get kicked off the track team. Listen, bowling, track, you name it. I was a mediocre athlete in many sports. Football. So after I said bye, to fill, like loud enough to fill the gymnasium, the coach approached me and said, "Turn in your uniform on Monday." So that was it. That was it.
This was a man who had a mouth that was an inch wide. That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
turn in your uniform on Monday. Yeah, no, he was a mumbler. He was yeah. I could have been the next. I could have been like basically Usain Bolt, but we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yep. It is 12:47. Let's see a couple more of these. This comes from Retrosonic82. I got mistaken for somebody else whilst on holiday a few years back. I popped into a local shop to grab a sandwich and a drink, and a staff member forcefully marched over to me and yelled, "You're not allowed in here, I've told you before," as she grabbed my sandwich and bottle of water from me and put them back. I, of course, tried to protest and explained that I had never been in there before and was a visitor to the area, but she gestured for security guard to come over and escort me out, stood watching us from a distance with her arms folded and a smug look on her face, occasionally shouting, "If she doesn't go, I'm calling the police." Thankfully, the security guard was a little more understanding about the situation and happily looked at my driving license, which proved I lived in a different area, but said, "Perhaps it would be best if you didn't come in here again." Frankie Pals chimes in. Had a case of mistaken identity once too. Went to some crappy college bar and the bouncer starts telling me, "You're not getting in here." So I ask why, and he goes, "You know why." So I ask again, as I have no idea why he's talking about. He says, "You're from Queens, right?" I reply that I'm not from Queens, and I show him my license. He still decided I must be pulling some elaborate scheme to try and get in, and wouldn't let me in. Guess there's some super handsome guy from Queens out there causing problems at bars. There you go. My mom was banned from Costco in the 90s, says Praise Cthulhu, for false identity as well. Someone had stolen her checkbook, bought about $2,500 worth of things at Costco in one trip. The check bounced, and Costco put the ban on her checking number. She had everything cleared up with the banks and brought Costco proof that her checkbook had been stolen, but they didn't believe her. It wasn't until, come on, Costco, you see the proof, you got to, don't be a goof. If you see the proof, don't be a goof. It wasn't until a few years later that she got a debit card and attempted to shop there to see what would happen that she was allowed to shop again. Her debit card has different numbers than her checkbook, and so they didn't know it was her. Wow. This comes from Biggie Kanish. Here's one. My family has been banned from a local Marco's Pizza for years because my mom, well, what did your mom do? She used to have some anger issues, and she really loves garlic butter. When Marco's forgot to include the garlic butter with the order, she called and asked them to deliver the single cup of garlic butter to our house. Wow, that's a bit much. The Marcos reasonably said they can't do that, and she could come get it. She stormed over there with our pizza and proceeded to smear the whole thing on their windows and counters. Haven't had Marcos since. Yeah, I'd say your mom went a little too far there. I think she might have gone too far. Someone else says, this reminds me, the Marcos story reminds me of when I worked for a local pizza place, delivered a pizza for a lady, and she asked me where her garlic cup was. I checked her receipt as well as all her boxes to see if it was ordered. She never ordered one, and I showed her. She insisted I go to my car and grab one because she knows we keep them in our cars. We don't, in parentheses. I told her I didn't have any, and then she starts screaming and cursing at me. Our policy for cursing was you're able to leave/hang up the phone if it happens. So I said, have a nice night, and left. I get back to the store, and the lady is calling us now. What she didn't know was that the store owner was running the store that night because we had someone call out. He answers the phone like normal, and then she tells him that your delivery driver ran off like a little bee. B-I-T, you get it. He then says, ma'am, have a nice night, and just hangs up. Immediately, she calls again and was now cursing at the owner of the store. He then goes, ma'am, you're no longer allowed to order from this store. Have a nice night, and hangs up again. All this commotion over an item that was never ordered. Well, that's a crying shame. Speaking of like getting banned or getting kicked out of a place. Oh yeah, I mean that garlic butter. I mean grass puddle. I don't know if you've ever had the garlic butter from Papa John's. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I mean, it's not good for you, but it's pretty tasty. Now, I wonder if my dad was ever kicked out of any place for like raising his voice, or like my mom. Mom, I'm asking you if do you recall any time? Because my dad, not afraid to get loud, not afraid to curse in public, not afraid to cause a scene. I know we've stormed out of places. Like my dad, like. This is going to sound crazy, but my dad went for it sometimes. He tipped over a table once, just threw the table over at a Bennigan's. Yeah, that was a good time. To quote my mom's favorite word, we were mortified. Oh my God, when your father did that, I was mortified. So, yeah, that's some fond childhood memories. Mom, any recollection? Anyway, we are coming up to the end of the Your Pal Hal show, folks. This has been a fun ride. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Thanks to the folks who are joining the stream now. Marilyn joining the stream. Tom, thanks for being here. Sweetie, thank you for being in the house. And I'm going to ask that everybody stick around for The Drive with Mario Smith. Now it's time for our final segment, which we call Rejected segments. These are ideas that we thought, oh, this might be interesting. But then it's like, oh, you know what? Probably a bad idea. Probably just like not a good idea for a segment. And this rejected segment is called Hal enjoys using a back scratcher way too much. Hal enjoys using a back scratcher way too much. And it would have just been me, just oohing and ahhing while I scratch my back with like this. And then it's like, ooh, oh, yeah, that's a spot. Oh, daddy. Oh, call the doctor. That feels. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good one, right? It's like it just gets awkward. Yeah. But imagine like 10 minutes of that, like just like all over the arms and everything.
Yeah,
it's weird, and just all the noises I was making, kind of creepy.
People will begin to think you have a condition.
Yeah. And that might be triggering for some people, just seeing me getting all just like, hot and bothered with a good, because there's nothing like a good scratch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good back scratch.
Oh.
On that note, we've had some fun today. I appreciate everyone who is here hanging out with Your Pal Hal right here on Backchannel. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for being a part of the fun. We're going to be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. West Coast time, 2 p.m. East Coast time on Backchannel. And I want to thank, again, everyone for being here and chiming in. Everybody at Backchannel, thank you so much. And producer Travis, thank you for holding it down. We'll talk to you tomorrow.